Yeah. Guys are able to see my screen, right?
Yes, Hari.
Yep,
Yes.
thank you. Thank you so much. So, master program on AWS with DevOps. Yesterday we discussed about the real-time environments, right? So now you understood about the real-time environment, right? And we
Yes.
already know about the how to install the OS, right? So here, so something like this is the hardware. For example, what this is? This is a hardware. File new. Yeah. So what this is, guys? This is a L
Hardware.
power H or 710. So for example, this is the hardware and this is a physical server. What this is, guys? This is a
Physical server.
physical server. So the same way, yeah. So what this is, guys? This is also a physical server. So one environment, how many servers we need? So per environment, each environment, how many servers we need?
You need two.
Two servers. What this server is? App
Web
server.
server and
So what this
database
server
server.
is? Yes, very good. So database server, DB server and app server. App server is nothing but application server. Okay. So you want to deploy application. For example, a developer developed that application. So want to deploy this application. Okay. So developer developed this developed the code. So this is the developer developed that code. What that code is? The code is fb.com. What this is? fb.jar. This code wants to deploy it in the Dell PowerEdge mission, right? So for example, this is the a guy. This guy is a what this guy? This guy is the operation engineer, right? When you saw the demo, right? Operation engineer at the time of waterfall methodology. Who is this? This is the developer. This is an operation engineer. Who is this? Operation engineer. So the operation engineer, so the developer work has been completed. So how he created the code, he developed the code, and so he built the code fb.jar, right? So now this code will be deployed on this server. So how we can deploy? So how we can deploy? The operation engineer. Operation. Who is the operation engineer? For example, a Linux engineer or a Windows engineer. For example, this is the Linux server, a Linux engineer. So the Linux engineer first. So buy this Dell PowerEdge server and keep it in the where we need to keep this. We need to keep it in the data center or a on-premise on-premise environment. So on-premise environment. So here we bought the server and keep it in the data center. After that, so what we need to do, guys? After that, so what we need to do? The operation engineer will install the OS. So how you can interact with this OS? How you can interact with this hardware, guys? So we can interact with this hardware through OS only. Okay. So then he installed the which OS, guys? We installed. So we installed on which OS? On our virtual machine. What in the
CentOS
CentOS?
9.
Yes, very good. CentOS 9 is installed. CentOS 9 is installed. After installing the OS. So if you want to interact with the if you want to interact with this hardware, definitely what we need? We need a
So OS.
OS. So which OS we installed? We installed the CentOS 9 OS installed. Okay. So who installed that one? Operational engineer installed the CentOS 9. After that, so once we installed the CentOS 9, once we install the CentOS 9, so we need to interact with this OS. So we need to interact with this OS. So how we can interact this OS, guys? How we can interact with this
Comments.
OS? Through commands only. Because
Comments.
so this Linux is the CLI OS. This Linux is the CLI OS. So first we need to understand the architecture of the Linux or a CentOS 7. What is the architecture? So this is the hardware. What is this? So this is the CentOS hardware. This is the Dell PowerEdge hardware. What this is? This is the hardware. So then hardware. So what we installed? So we installed the CentOS 9. So if you install the CentOS 9, so the heart of the OS, Linux OS, who is the heart of the Linux OS? Kernel is the heart of the Linux. Kernel is the heart of the Linux OS. After the kernel, so what is that? So where you are executing your commands. You are executing your commands in the where you are executing your commands in the which prompt? The black screen. What is the black screen? Shell. So right. So the first, what is this? This is the hardware. What this is?
Hardware, kernel, and the shell.
What this is? This is the hardware. So hardware, kernel, and the shell. So on top of the shell, you are executing the commands. Cat command, right? So what commands you are executing? Cat command, VI command, CD command, MD command, MKDIR command. These all commands are executing on the which shell? This. What is this? This is the Oracle Virtual Box. What this is, guys? So this is the Oracle Virtual Box. So if you're starting this Oracle Virtual Box, center is right. He will get the which prompt? Shell prompt. Which shell prompt? So in Linux, by default, bash is the shell prompt. What is that, guys? Bash shell prompt. Bash is the shell prompt. Okay. Root red hat. So what this is, guys? What this is? This black screen is nothing but a shell prompt. Echo dollar shell. Echo dollar shell. But this is bin bash. So which shell this is? So this is the a bin bash shell. What is this? So this is the a bin bash shell. In this bin bash shell, what are the commands we are executing? Cat slash ctc red hat hyphen release. So pwd cd slash root. These are the commands we are executing, right? Where you are executing the commands, you are executing the commands in the shell prompt. So how you can interact the mediator between hardware and shell? Who is the mediator? Kernel. Kernel is the mediator. What this is? This is a Linux architecture. What is this, guys? This is the Linux
Architecture.
architecture. Linux architecture. So I will tell you. So what is that? Linux architecture. So today's date. What is the date, guys?
26.
26th.
26. Sorry, September 25. Okay. Trainer. Yes. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So what is that? So the today's touch. So what we are discussing today, guys? We are discussing today Linux architecture and the Linux file system hierarchy. So Linux architecture and so Linux file system hierarchy. So now you understood Linux architecture. So you understood the Linux architecture. So what is that? So first is initially hardware, then kernel,
Next
then
is
shell. Right. So what is that? So first, what is the first, guys? The first is
hardware.
hardware. So what is the hardware? Hardware is Dell Power Edge R710. For example, this is the hardware. So you already know the hardware, right? The second one.
Yeah.
So what is the second one? Second one
Kernel.
is
Kernel.
hmm. So what is a kernel? So what is a kernel? It is a core component of the Linux operating system. What is? It
Core
is
of
a
heart of the Linux.
yes, core component of the
Line.
Linux operating system. Linux operating system. Okay, and so it is responsible to execute our commands. So, so it is the responsible to execute our commands cat cdmk. So once we execute in the shell, right? So it will interact with the kernel. Kernel will interact with the hardware, and it will execute the command. What is that, guys? So it is responsible to execute our commands. It is our will to it is our responsible to execute our commands. So what is the next, guys? It is responsible to interact with the hardware components. So what kernel will do? So it it is responsible. Sorry, it is responsible to interact with the hardware
Components.
components. So it is the responsible to interact with hardware components and so memory allocation, right? So that memory allocation, process allocation. I will tell you what is memory allocation. So while teaching the process management, so then you will understand. Okay. So we'll take care by kernel. We'll take care by the kernel. So we'll understand memory allocation, process allocation. Memory allocation means, so for example, so in the Windows, so what you are working, you are working on the notepad. So notepad will be executed on the RAM, that memory. RAM is nothing but a memory. That memory allocation. This much of memory allocated to text. This notepad. So notepad and processor. So which process is running now? The notepad process is running now. Okay. So I will tell you, no worries. Just you understand, right? It is a core component of the Linux operating system. So what is this? Yeah. So it is a core component of the Linux operating system. So CentOS 9 is the operating system. So what is kernel is the core component of the CentOS. It is responsible to execute our commands. So who is responsible? Kernel is the mediator between hardware and shell. So whenever you execute a command in the shell, right? It will kernel take it and it will interact with the hardware and it will execute the command. So on memory allocation, so it is responsible to interact with the hardware components also, and memory allocation, process allocation, memory, right? They have a memory, process, everything, right? So one second, right? Yeah, guys. So, right, now you understood the kernel. So, now what is shell? You understood the shell, right? So, we are executing the commands in the shell prompt. What is shell? So, what is a shell? It is a outer layer. What is this? So, this is the outer layer of the Linux operating system. It is the outer layer of the Linux operating system. Shells act as an interface between user and the kernel. So what is that? So it is so we are the users. We are interacting with the shell. So the shell will interact with the user and the kernel. Okay, shell is a software program that allows you to interact and access a computer. What is that? A shell is a software program that allows you to interact and access a computer. User can enter the commands in the shell prompt, which will be executed by the shell. So once you enter the commands, right, the user is entered the commands, but it will be executed by, so who executed that will executed by the shell, which shell, bash shell.
Dash.
User can enter the commands in the shell prompt, which will be executed by the shell. Since the only means of communication through shell is text. What is this? PWD is text. CD is text. MKDIR Blue Jay Technologies, Blue Jay Tech. So Blue Jay, this is the text. So since the only means of communication through shell is text, so for example PWD, LS, MKDR, CD, it is known as a command line interface. What is that? The text through shell is text. It is known as command line interface. What is that? Shell is a command line interface
Command
or
line
a
interface.
CLI. Guys, now you understood what is shell?
Yeah.
Shell is the
Yes.
outer
Yeah.
layer of the Linux operating system, and shell act as an interface between user and kernel. And shell is a software program that allows you to interact and access a computer. And user can enter a commands and in the shell prompt, which will be executed by the shell. So this is nothing but a the since the only means of communication through shell is text. What is the PWD, LS, root? So right, cat slash it is red hat release. So every command will execute through shell. Is nothing shell in the shell is a text. The text format we are executing the commands. The text is nothing but a CLA command line interface. What this shell is? The shell is nothing but a command line interface. Guys, understood?
Yes.
Guys,
Yes,
Yes, I
understood.
like
understand. So the tester is the both the CLA and the
yes,
command line
PWD is a
interface.
text. PWD is text. CD is text. Right? MKDAR. All these are text. All these are text. So shell is a
When you
text.
say
It
tester, is it like TAST? STR.
TXT text,
Okay, 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 got you.
not test. TXT
Okay,
text. So
okay,
this is text, right? PWD is the text. MKDAR text. We are typing, right? The text.
okay. Understand now.
So it is known as command line interface.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. So what is the third one? Shell. Shell. Understood? Kernel. What is kernel? What is the hardware? Guys, now you understood, right?
Oh, yes.
Very good. Shell. What is shell? Guys, tell me.
It is outer layer of the Linux
Outer
architecture.
layer of
Yes,
the
it is
Linux.
a outer layer,
Layer.
outer layer of the Linux operating system. Okay. So what is the next? Shall act as a interface between user and kernel. What is that? Shall
Shall
act
act as
as
an interface between
interface between
kernel and user.
yes user and kernel. Very nice. So what is the next one? Next
Shell.
one. Shell is a software program. Shell is a software program that
We
allows
can execute. Okay.
allows you to interact and access a computer. So how it will be interact? The shell will be interact to the computer. Okay. So what is the next point? The next point is
Shell
user.
By
is
using this, we can execute commands or scripts.
okay.
User can enter the commands in the shell prompt.
Shell.
Where executed? It will execute it in the command prompt, which will be user can enter the commands in the shell prompt, which will be executed by who executed that commands, guys?
Use
Who is that?
User.
Shell.
by the shell.
Shell. User can enter the commands. So I am the user.
Yeah,
I am entering the commands. PWD. So who will use? Who will enter the commands? User enter the commands, but these commands will be executed by
by the shell.
shell prompt.
By shell. Okay.
Shell, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Since the only means of communication through shell is what is that, guys? Shell is text. What is the text?
Text.
Commands. What are the commands? For example, so pwd ls cat slash etc slash red hat hyphen release and ls mkdir cd. I will tell you guys all these commands. I will tell you, no worries. You will get it easily. Okay. It is known as, guys, tell me. It is known as command line interface. Interface or CLI. CLI means command line interface. Guys, now you understood? So architecture of the Linux. So what is the architecture of the Linux? So the architecture of the Linux is Linux architecture. Okay, so this is the architecture of the Linux. Sorry. So this is the one architecture of the Linux. Yeah. You see, guys, hardware, kernel, shell. This is the user space. This is the user space. Understood? Yeah. It will be very
Okay.
easy, guys. The architecture of the Linux is very easy. Okay, guys, understood? Yeah. Shells.
Yes,
So
sir.
what is a shell? Shell is a shell is a software program that allows you to interact and access a computer. Okay, now you understood the shell. But how many types of cells? Types of shells. So what are the types of shells, guys? What are the types of shells? In Linux, which shell we are using? Echo. Echo is the print statement, guys. Shell is the command. So shell is the command. If you execute the dollar light, the dollar means which shell it is. So sh is nothing but a shell. But what is ba? Ba is nothing but a bash. Sorry, born again shell. What is this, guys? Born again shell. Bash is nothing but a born again shell. Okay. So Linux is using which shell, guys? Bash. Linux
Bash.
using which shell, guys? Bash
Ba-
shell.
Dash.
So what are the shells? SH shell. Well, I will tell you that. So how many shells we can slash etc. shells. You see sh bash, user bin sh, user bin bash. So right, shell. What is it? Sh shell. So the second one is bash shell. So what is bash shell, guys? By default, what is that? By default, Linux uses the bash shell. Linux uses the bash shell. Guys, which shell Linux is using? Guys,
Bash.
Bash.
hmm. So we have a C shell, A shell. We have number of shells is there. CSH, KSH. So right, these all are the shells. But so which shell it is? Linux is using bash shell by default.
Bash.
Bash shell by default. How do you know? How do you know which shell is using in your Linux machine? Guys, how do you know? I already told you, right? What is the command? So how
Uh,
do you know which shell is using in our Linux machine? What is the command?
AWD.
PWD.
PWD is nothing but a present working directory. But I want to know
Yeah.
the which shell it is. What is the
Cat.
command, guys?
Okay.
What
Echo.
is the what is the command?
Hash echo
Echo.
dollar shell.
Echo.
Echo dollar
Shell.
Echo.
slowly.
Shell.
Echo dollar shell. It will give the which shell prompt is using in our Linux. What is the shell prompt?
Echo
Echo.
dollar.
Echo dollar shell.
Shell.
The command is echo dollar shell. So what is that? What is the shell we are using?
Bash
Bin
shell.
bash.
Bash.
Bin bash. Okay. Yeah. Now you understood, Ra? So now you understood about the Linux architecture. So then Linux file system hierarchy. What is a Linux file system hierarchy? What is this, guys? Linux file system hierarchy. So what is Linux file system hierarchy? What is Windows file system hierarchy? Okay. So I will show you this. Okay. So for example, you can go to the C drive. So C drive is nothing but whenever you install the OS, right? A default file structure, a default folder structure will be created. So this is that folder structure. What is that? Users is nothing but a user. Program files is nothing but a third party softwares will be installed under this directory. Program files is nothing but a the system related softwares will be installed under this directory. So for example, this is the directory, it will create it automatically. Same like as a, so whenever we install the Linux, a default file structure will be created. So that default file structure is, this is, so bin boot dev etc home media mnt opt root to sbin no tempo usr var. These folders, for example, all these folders or directories will be created while installing the OS. What these directories, what these directories and what is the purpose of this directory? The same like as a Windows. So Windows also created some folder structure, that is users, Windows, program files, x86 program files. So in tet pub something like a puff log. So these all are the some directories will be created automatically while installing the OS. While installing the OS, the same like as a Windows also created file structure. The same like as a Linux also created a file system hierarchy. What is this? So this is the file system hierarchy created while installing the OS. What is that? A file system hierarchy will be created while installing the OS. File system, Linux file system hierarchy. Linux file system hierarchy. What is that? So Linux file system hierarchy. Yeah. So you are seeing, right? So what this? So this is a root, this is a slash, bin, opt, boot, root, dev, sbin, right? etc, home, tempo, usr, var, mnt media. So what this is? A file system hierarchy of a Linux. What this, guys? So this is the file system hierarchy of the Linux. Okay. Guys are able to see?
Mhm.
Are able to see it? What is this bin boot? Are able to see it or not? So it's showing blur or something like a
Somewhat blurred.
blur. Okay. Next file system hierarchy. You can take this one also. What is copy image? Let's see copy image. Guys are able to see?
Yes.
Yes. So what this is, guys? So this is a Linux file system hierarchy. What is this, guys? So this is a Linux file system
Linux file system
hierarchy.
hierarchy.
So what is that? Guys, everyone can speak out. What is this?
Bin,
What is
Bin,
this?
boot,
Hmm.
dev,
Hmm. Hmm.
etc,
etc,
Hmm.
home,
home,
Hmm.
Home,
lib,
library,
lib64,
Media,
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 Hmm.
media,
OPT,
Hmm.
root,
empty,
Hmm.
opt,
run.
opt,
Hmm.
root, run,
Hmm.
Yes, sir.
Yes, been
has been, and temp,
user,
user,
user and
Where?
var.
user,
So
user,
these all are
var,
the
var,
you see. So slash,
user and variable.
yeah, bin, boot, dev, etc, home, root, sbin, tempo, user, var. So what these file structure? So in Windows we call it as a folder. In Linux we call it as a directory. Okay, you guys remember a folder is nothing but a directory in the Linux. Guys, a folder is nothing but a directory in the Linux. Nothing but directory in the Linux. Guys, you remember this one. In the Windows, so Windows, what is this? So this is, so in the Windows, so whenever you install the OS, right, a default file structure, a default user will be created in Windows. So what is that Windows? So Windows default user is administrator. Who is that, guys? Who is the default user?
Administrator.
While installing the Windows OS, a default user will be created. That user is administrator. So administrator is the user. It will created while installing the OS, and administrator having all the privileges. Administrator having all the privileges. Same like as a while installing the OS, while installing the Linux OS, a default user will be created. What is that user? Guys, how you are connecting with your
Administrator.
Linux? Which user?
echo, mm,
So I logged in as a
root,
root,
Root.
root user.
very good. So did you created the root user or you just set the password for the root user? You just set the password for the root user, not created. Okay. So in Linux, what is the user? So root user is the super user. Root user can do anything. Okay. So here root user is the super user. Root user can do anything. Here administrator is user, the super user. Administrator can do anything. So root is the super user. Which user? Root is a super user in Linux. So root is the super user in Linux. Root can do anything. Root can do anything. Guys, understood? So when we install
Yeah.
the Windows or a Linux, a few folders will be created while installing the OS. So what are those folders and which purpose those folders are created? Right. So right now you understood. So VM versus Linux. So this is the Linux and this is the VM. So in Windows, so we will call it as a folder, and in Linux we will call it as a directory.
Directory.
We call it as a directory. Folder is nothing but a directory in the Linux. Guys, understood? Directory in the Linux, right? So yes, now you understood. So what is slash? What is bin? What is boot? What is a dev? What is etc? What is a root? What is a sbin? What is a user? What is a var? These all are the directories. Guys, remember what these all are? These all are
Directories.
these all are directories. These all are directories. So what is the top level directory? This is the slash. Slash is the top level directory for all the directories. What is slash is the
Slash.
top level dir for all the D directories. Understood, right? Slash. What is the slash? CD slash. What is it? Slash is the top level directory for the all the directories. Under the slash, there is a bin, boot, dev, etc, home, media, mnt, opt, root, sbin, tempo, usr, var. All these folders, all these directories are in which directory? In the slash directory, these all directories are created. Okay, these all are the directories. So what is the use of bin? What is the use of boot? What is the use of dev? What is the use of etc? What is the use of home? What is the use of root? What is the use of sbin? What is the use of tempo? What is the use of usr? What is the use of var? Okay, guys, if you know the Linux file system hierarchy, if you know the Linux file system hierarchy, it will be very easy. Linux will be very easy. If you know all these directories, the purpose of this directory, if you know, right, the Linux will be very easy. Okay. Yeah. First
Okay.
we'll take the, you logged in as a which user?
Root user.
This directory is root user's home directory. What is this, guys? So this user is root user's home directory. So pwd, what is this? Slash root. This is the directory. What this is? So this is the directory. This directory contains what is this? cd ld slash root. What this is the directory. What this directory? This is the home directory for the normal user. What this slash is? So when you logged in as a root user, right, so you want to save something, the files will be saved under the slash root. So whenever you logged in as a root user, the home directory, the root user's home directory is slash root. Okay, this is the home directory, this is the root user's home directory. Okay, yeah. So whenever you start, right, you are starting, say something like if you are clicking, right, start the Linux. So the booting files, we need to boot the OS, right? The booting files will be located under the which directory? Slash boot. In the slash boot, the directories, the bootable files, so all the bootable files information will be available under the slash boot, available under the slash boot, guys. Yes, so we are executing the commands, we are executing the commands, all these commands will be available under which directory? cd slash bin. Bin is nothing but a binary directory. So what the commands you see? ls command, pwd command, ps command, pwd command, all the commands will be available under the bin. All the commands available under the bin. Okay. Yeah. So in the Linux machine, only root user, or we can create the normal users also. So we can create the normal users also. What are the normal users? So for example, normal users are Pujita, Hari, uh, Diamond, or something like a Vasha, or something like a Srihita. These all are the, for example, Hari. Hari is the normal user. Who is? So Hari is the normal user. Normal user is created. Normal user's home directory will be created under the slash home. Okay. The normal users, the newer normal user's home directory will be created under the slash home. A root user home directory will be created under the slash home. Okay. Yeah. So the commands. So commands are two types of commands. What are those commands? The commands will be available under the two directories. One is bin and another one is sbin. So what is bin now? Bin is nothing but a binary. So binary means okay, sbin is nothing but a super bin. Who is the super user? Root user is the super user. The super user commands will execute. Okay, so this is the root. What is this? This is the root and this is the normal user. Who is the normal user, guys? The normal user is Hari is the normal user and root is the super user. Okay, root will execute the root as you logged in as a root user, right? So you can execute both bin and sbin commands. But as a normal user can execute only bin commands. A normal user cannot execute the sbin commands because of this is the super bin command. Super bin commands will execute only the super user. Who user? Super user. The super bin commands will be executed by the super user. What is this? Super bin. Super bin commands will executed by the super user. But the root user can do anything, right? A root user can execute bin and sbin commands, but a normal user can execute only a normal user can execute
Only bin commands.
very good only bin commands. So whatever the commands are there in the bin directory, right? That commands only will executed by the normal user. That commands only will executed by the normal user. But the root user can execute both in bin and sbin commands. So a root directory, whenever you create a root user is created by the while installing the OS, right? A directory. So what is the home directory for the root user? Slash root. Root is the home directory for the root user. So what is the home directory for the normal user? So the normal user's home directory will be created under the slash home directory. Slash home directory. CD slash home. Is anyone any directory is created? No, nothing because of there is no normal users. User add Hari, for example. Okay, cd slash home. You see, Hari directory is created. So a normal user home directory will be created under the slash home Hari. A normal user home directory will be created under the slash home Hari. Understood, right? So now you understood about the you understood about the home and sbin, right? Sbin, home, root, boot, bin. So then temp is the temporary directory. It's for sending. It's for saving some files or directories. Nothing to worry about it. It's a temporary directory. Okay. So then all the configuration information. The configuration information will be located under the slash etc. The configuration information will be located under the slash etc. Okay, and the dev. So what is a dev? So we want to install the OS. So where we can install the OS? So we can install the OS on so this 20 GB hard disk, where the hard disk 20 GB available, the 20 GB hard disk will be available under the slash dev. So slash dev is nothing but a device information. The hard disk information will be available under the slash dev. Understood, guys? So the the slash etc the device the hard disk information will be available under the slash dev and the usr. What is the usr? Usr is nothing but a so the system related softwares will be installed under the slash usr. What is that? The system related softwares will be installed under the slash usr. Yes, understood.
Yeah.
And var. So var this is the USR. USR is nothing but a system related software. So while installing the OS, how many packages are installed? So for example, 345 or 310. So 304 or 345 packages are installed for installing the OS. So those all system related softwares. Whenever we install the packages while installing the OS, right? All these packages will information will be available under the which directory? In the USR directory. So for example, so all the system related softwares will be installed under the slash USR, right? Yeah. So this is the hard disk, right? This is the physical server. In this physical server, you are installing a Tomcat web server. This Tomcat web server is related to third-party software. What is this? This is not a system-related software. Tomcat download. What is that, guys? Tomcat download. This is the Tomcat Apache. This is from Apache organization. So this is the third party software after installing the OS. They same like as a Windows. So in Windows we are installing what is that? This Oracle VirtualBox. This is a system related software or third party software. This is the third party software. This third party softwares will be installed under the say you see here. So program files x86. Here in this x86, so the system related softwares will be installed under this program files x86 and program files. So we will install Git is the third party, Google is the third party, HP is the third party, right? Putty is the third party, Terraform is the third party. All the third party softwares will be installed under the program files and system related softwares will be installed under the slash program files x86. Here you see two folders, program files and program files x86. Same here also. USR is the system related softwares will be installed and the OPT. What is that? OPT. Where it is? OPT. OPT is not there. Huh? So OPT. OPT is the what is this? So OPT. So OPT is the third party softwares will be installed under the under OPT software. Okay. Next var. So what is a var? Var is nothing but that variable information. The log information, system related logs or application logs, all the logs will be located under the var directory. Located under the var directory. Yes, understood? So if you know the Linux file system hierarchy, what is this folder and what is the purpose of this folder? So what this folder and what is the purpose of this folder? If you know the right, it will be very easy. For example, bin commands. So you are executing as a normal, you executed command as a. So for example, I will tell you. This is the what is that Hari is created, right? Pass wd Hari. So I'm giving password as a red hat. Red hat. Okay. This is the root user, right? Shit. IPA 192.168.56.118. Yeah. I am connecting these servers through Putty. I will tell you later, guys, why Putty, why we are connecting this. So I will tell you later. The same way in the real time. So how you are connecting your missions. So you are connecting your missions through Putty only. For example, if you are having a Windows server, what is the IP address of 192.168.56. So 118. I think Pujita know this one, right? Pujita, that IP address.
Yeah.
I will tell you guys, no worries. Change settings, appearance, change, bold, 18, okay, apply. Guys are able to see what is the username is red hat. So okay, the same way I'm connecting another session, duplicate. So what this is? This is a Hari. What is the password? Password set. Okay. So I logged in as a root user and I logged in as a normal user. So what is that? ls, pwd. All these commands are bin commands. So for example, fdisk slash -l slash dev sdb sda. Sorry. SDA. Okay, so this command is executed. What this command, fdisk command is has been command. Fdisk command is has been command. So you logged in as a root user. Root user is the super user. Root can execute both bin and so these are the lspwd is the bin commands and sbin command. Fdisk is the sbin command. The root user can execute both bin and sbin commands. So for example, Hari is the normal user. So we can check if the so Hari is able to execute that sbin commands or not. ls pwd, yeah, ls pwd it is executing because of this is the bin command. So fdisk is a which command, guys? fdisk is the which command?
Has been command.
Has been command. So you see guys, so what it is showing? So what it is showing?
Permission denied.
Because of a
With
normal user
all user.
cannot a normal user cannot execute the has been commands. A
Spoils.
normal user cannot execute the has been commands, right? So that's the reason we got the permission denied access. Understood, guys? Guys,
Yeah.
understood?
Yeah.
Yes.
Understood.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, right? Yeah. cd/boot. So slash C. So VM lineage, system init RAM FS. These all are the grub, EFI, bootloader. These all are the so booting files. Boot files. cd so ls cd has been lv command fdisk command, right? Yeah, you see what is this? So I am in the which directory? Sbin directory. So fdisk is the sbin command. So the fdisk command will execute only the root user. Only the root user. Right? cd/dev. You see? SDA. What is that? So this is the SDA. So SD is the hard disk name. SDA contains the 20 GB. All the hard disk information will be available under the /dev. Okay. Next. cd/etc. etc is nothing but all the configuration files .conf, all the configuration files will be located under the /etc. Nice. Okay. Next, ls. So what is that? etc done, dev done, boot done, bin done. Okay, home already done. So media mn. So media is nothing but a yeah. So we in the settings yesterday we added the optical drive, right? In the storage we added a optical drive. So in this optical drive is for we enable this optical drive. So what is this optical drive? Vivid optical drive. Yeah. So this is nothing but a media. So a pen drives will be located under the MNT. So the media is nothing but a CD, DVD drive. So OPT is a third-party software will be installed. So root is the normal user's home directory. SBIN is the command. So temp is the normal tempo. So where right? CD where. So what is where? CD where log. CD log. Okay, so what is the log? For example, here you see messages is nothing but a system related, mail log, and firewall log, DNF log, prawn log. All the log information will be available under the var log. All the log information will be available under the var logs. USR is nothing but a system related software will be installed. Okay, so OPT, let's check the OPT. cd opt. Did you install any software? No. So if you want to install the Apache, so I will tell you guys. So after by the end of this course, I will show you the deployment, how to do the deployments. So on that time, I will show you how to install the Tomcat wget 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 link address. Oh, hurry, huh? Wget. Yeah, it's downloaded there. What is that? Apache. So tar-xdf for Apache dot zip ID. So in that one, right? tar-xdf. Okay, zip file. So if I forgot guys, this one. Copy link address. Okay. ls xpf apache move apache as a tom from apache root dot apache what is start guys now so we have only Tomcat. Tomcat is in the which directory? Sorry, move Tomcat to OPT directory. Okay, CD slash OPT. So OPT having a Tomcat, right? So CD Tomcat, CD bin ls. So dot slash startup sh. Either Java install Java. Yes, I will tell you. I will tell you while doing this. This will take time, or else I will show you. One second. Don't practice this one. This is like how to deploy application. So OPT is the third party, right? We can download that software and install. No need to install. You just keep it. And so if you want to run the Java, right? A Tomcat is the default. So the Tomcat, which so the Java code will be executed. Code will be executed on Tomcat. Okay, Tomcat. jar file here there downloads editech. This computer editech one. Yeah. So github.com. Yeah, this is my AWS material, guys. Here I already uploaded that code. What is that? edtech. Single questions, setup grafana, PDF. and press. Hey guys, I already uploaded here administration. Check analytics. Apache. Lisa guys yesterday or something. Yes. Got you. Desktop. Yes. Yes. Where is that, guys? Got it. Hmm, Indicator. So we have. It's taking time, huh? No worries, guys. I will show you that the deployment. I will explain everything while doing the package management. So this is the WinSCP, guys. So WinSCP will works. What new tab documents new tab. So 192.168.86.118. What is the username? Root password is red. Right. So I want to upload a file from your Windows machine. Right. So this is the educate, and I want to move it to OPT Tomcat Web Apps. What is this? This is the file. Yeah, I have moved. So this is here is the jar. Let's see. Let's dot shutdown dot sh. Start up. Yes, I found I program blue was shipped. Yeah, Tomcat is running. System ctl swap firewall d k http colon double slash 192 dot 168.56.18. The site is not reached. OPT ct dot slash cd webbox kit CSS HTML online. So today webs we have website exists. Also details ls c dot ls. Dark file, right? Let me deploy this one or something like yeah, 6 6 dot lar file. Yeah, this line. Yes, that educate is Apache file, I think. So right, lab 6A dot where. Yeah, copy link address. Yes, sorry, this is the HTML files. .cd web apps. RMI indicate. Okay, let's wget this where. Yeah. So Tomcat knows only where are jar file guys. Okay. So cd dot cd bin ls dot slash restart is there. Startup shutdown. So migrate select there is no restart. Shutdown dot sh and startup dot sh. PSL for here pipe grep Tomcat. Yes, no worries. I will tell you everything. Just I'm so this is the third party software, right? What you need to do? Localhost lab 6A HTTP colon double slash. So 192.168 dot so 56.118 colon H. Yeah. You see, guys. So what this is? This is the web server. So right on this web server. So what is lab application is lab 6A. What is this? Lab 6A. Yeah. You see, guys, this is the website. So we are providing the something like so this is yes, so this is no classic path, right? Something like it will give the another page, but it is not executing. So because of I need to provide the that permissions. Guys, now you understood? So you deployed a application in the third party. So where you deployed the application? So in the third party. I will tell you while doing the something like a package management. It's just how we can deploy the third party software. Now you understood, right? Guys, so this is the real-time application. This is the real time. So how you can install the Java, Tomcat, and how you can deploy your application. I will tell you each and everything. I'm just showing. So what is the third-party software? How we can deploy the software. Yes, understood?
Yeah.
Pujita, Srihita, Diamond, Varsha. Varsha, you understand, right? I
Yeah,
think you already know, right?
but
Yeah.
this last part that you just showed us, I did not really.
No, no, you don't understand, guys. You don't understand. So you don't know how it will. So I will show you, no worries, each and every step how we can deploy this. I'm just telling what is OPT and so what it will be doing. What OPT is doing. So we are installing the third party softwares and we are deploying the application in this OPT file tray. So, but I will tell you while teaching the package management. We have a package management. Then that time I will tell you after the package management how we can tell you how we can deploy application, how we can release the application through the waterfall model. I will tell you, no worries. Okay, just I am showing how the deployment goes on. Varsha, you understood? Varsha?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yes, right?
Yeah.
You know the package management, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, no worries. You will understand. You will understand while doing the package management. In the last Linux class will be the deployment and release. How it will go it in the real time. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, guys. Thank you. We'll continue from Monday. You guys can watch this recording. So this will also upload in the that YouTube. You can, and they will share it to you the recording. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thank. So
thank
on
you.
these, on these 2 days, you guys can watch again and again and again and again. I will ask some questions on the Monday. Okay?
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you.